In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create this beautiful SaaS motion graphic from scratch. But this is not just another regular tutorial. I'll break down the full workflow behind this animation, from turning a simple static frame into something that actually feels alive, to creating these smooth box animations from scratch. Because I got so many good feedback on the previous project, you can have this intro and the previous video intro from the link under the description. Most people are just using static images, but let's flip the switch and bring them to life. In the first stage, we need a good reference, and the best source for it obviously would be Pinterest. So once you find it, pass it into ChatGPT and also drop this prompt on it. Right now you have a clean and flat 1920 1080 frame as a main reference. You can modify this part of the prompt if you need any specific size. Reconstructing the object. For having a flexible scene, mostly you need 4 separate images: background, main object, bottom part, and any foreground object. You can easily use these prompts with your main reference and deconstruct each of these parts. Before we move on, we need one more thing. Obviously, this image looks tight. And what I mean by that is, if we want to give it a bad position, we're going to go out of the frame. So the solution for it would be importing the background image into After Effects, scale it down a bit, and place a green solid color to the background. And then take a screenshot, pass it to ChatGPT, and give it this prompt as well. Alright, so right now we got everything that we needed, and it's time to stack them all on top of each other. I'm gonna grab empty white image and put it as a first layer in my composition. So let's go for the monitor as a second layer. And as you see, it has a purplish color that we need to remove it first. So I'm gonna use key light effect, and if you wonder what's this plugin that I'm using right now, it's called FX Console, and it's totally free. You can find it through my Discord channel. So once you drop this effect, you just need to pick the eyedropper and just grab a reference color. And as you see, we can remove all the color. Right now, as you see, we do have a little bit transparency at the back. And the things that I have to do is just grab the pen tool and draw a shape which is exactly similar to the shape of the monitor. And once you did that, you just need to grab a reference color from over here and come back to the shape layer, give it the same color to this shape layer, and put that shape layer at the back of the monitor. And right now, as you see, the problem will be solved. And we just need to pre-comp these two layers together and call it monitor again. So once we got the right object, probably you need to fix the anchor point as well. So let's put this in the right place, but the main problem down here would be this overlapping that we have to fix it. Grab a duplicate and name it as a white empty, but this time I'm gonna add a dash and call it top layer. And easily, we just need to grab a pen tool, select the layer, and just try to mask down here. It shouldn't be accurate at all. You just need to have something which it only select that part of the keyboard. Immediately after you do the mask, you can make that illusion. If you want, you can push the monitor a little bit to the bottom, and I think this is perfectly what I want. And the only issue that we have right now would be the color of the monitor. So the quick solution for it would be selecting layer and give it a curves effect. So over here, you just need to select each of these colors one by one and play with them. And once I play with all of these color channels, you obviously can see that this is perfectly matched to our scene. And the thing is, there is no specific logic behind these graphs. You only need to play with them and find the best place for each of these graphs. So let me drag and drop my controller and scale it down a bit, and also give it a key light as well. Remove the background color and put it in the right place that you want it. So the only things that I have to do is just grabbing this curve color and paste it in this one as well. So I just need to duplicate this layer, name it as a shadow, and give it a CC slant effect. I can also remove the curve effect from my shadow layer. And also, what I have to do is just give it a fill color as well and put it in a black color. We need to put it at the back of the controller to see much more better results. So I might need to play with it a bit more. And then the last touch would be Fastbox Explorer for it. So you can add this one to it, and also make sure you want to check this repeat edge pixel, because we don't want to lose these part of the image. And after that, you can also also turn down the opacity a bit, and as you see, we will perfectly have what we want. I'm gonna duplicate these two layers together and name it as a controller. And I'm gonna do the same exact process with all of these things one by one. Put these beers in the right place. We can put that layer underneath of the top layer and just play with our mask. So I'm gonna modify this mask and put it somehow that it covered the bokeh as well. And it will easily do the job for us. You just need to again select the curve effect and drop it in your layer as well. And then I'm gonna grab a duplicate from this layer again, put it on the top of all the other layers, and maybe put it down here as well. Maybe I'll have to put it on the back of the controller to have much more better and accurate positioning. Grab the circle, draw a circle down here like this, put the anchor point on the center, and if you also wonder about this tool, this is Motion 4, and you can easily find it on my Discord channel as well. Go inside the fill color, give it a black color, and then drop a fastbox blur and give it a little bit blurriness and put it at the back of this bottle down here. And maybe play with this a bit. I'm gonna go for these box down here. So once I drop it over here, I just want to scale it down a bit. I'm gonna give it a key light again, grab this color down here, but just don't forget to select the bottle and the shadow that we made it previously and pre-comp it together and name it as a bottle. Of course, we'll also want to adjust the anchor point in the right place. And over here, as you see, again, we do have that transparency. So before I do anything, I just want to draw a shape down here and put it at the back of this layer down here. I just want to duplicate this one, maybe scale it up a bit and put it in the right place. A little bit of adjustment down here, put it at the back of everything and give it a fastbox blur as well. And do a little bit of blurriness, and I'm pretty sure that I don't need to do anything else. Pre-comp all of these layers together and name them whatever we want it. And obviously set the anchor point in the right place. So first of all, I'm gonna connect all of these layers to a separate null object. And I'm gonna do this with a null object option on Motion 4, which is connect the layer to a null object. So easy, and also set the anchor point in the same exact place. And after doing that, obviously we need to select the empty layer because we didn't connect it to any null object, and then select all of these null objects and connect it to one main controller, which is obviously going to be another null object. But of course, I'm going to change color and name it as a main controller. But the thing is, before I do anything with this composition, I'm going to set the anchor point in the right place, which is the center of the scene for the main controller. And then I'm going to open up the scale and give it a scale in some frame, like 30 to 40 frames. Do a zoom in. I think I prefer flow, which you can also find this plugin on my Discord channel as well. And this is going to be a really intense graph, which is pretty fast at the first and pretty slow at end. So I'm going to apply it down here, which will make something like this. Probably I'm going to move it a little bit and make it much more smoother. So I'm gonna select all of these layers down here except the empty layer that I covered the stuff, and open up the position and do a keyframe for the position of them. And of course, I'm gonna move them a little bit to the top, and maybe I'm also gonna rotate them a bit. So I'm gonna do this randomly to make more depth for my scene. So this is how easy we can make some more depth in our composition. I'm gonna give them all same keyframe and then push them to the back. And as you see, it's gonna be something like this. It would be better if I just select the last keyframe, move them really far away, and then select the other keyframe as well, and just apply the graph again. And I think the rotation for the controller is not that much cool, so I just want to remove it as well. And because it's out of the frame down here, I just want to make sure that it's going to be on the this. Maybe play and offset each of these keyframes a bit, and let's see what we have. And that's the time that it comes up with overlays or those green screens footages. So you just need to open YouTube, Google, or anywhere else and just type whatever you want in and drop overlay or green screen at the end of it. And that's how easy you can find exactly what you want. So right now I download my overlay and I drop it on my project. So I'm gonna put it on the top of all the layers, and the most important thing over here is most of the overlays are coming either in green screen or black screen. For a green screen type, you just need to add a key light to that layer and select the color as a reference color and remove it totally from your scene. And if you have a black screen, you have even easier method. You only need to change your mode into screen, and this is how easy you can remove black screen through your scene. And right now I have a little bit of dust animation through my light layer, and I might need to also turn the opacity down to make it much more realistic. I'm gonna add an adjustment layer and name it as a blur. Then I can either give it BCC Lens Blur OBS, which is a plugin that you can find it through my Discord channel as well, or if you don't want to download it out, you just need to search for Gaussian blur and give it a Gaussian blur, which is a built-in blur effect. But I'm gonna go for OBS because it makes much more better result. I'm gonna put it at 12 at the first and give it a keyframe and go a little bit forward and turn it into 0. And as you see, we do have a little bit of stuff down here, and this is kind of better. And I'm also wanna put this zoom in around here because I don't want to have that much gap. But of course, after I did that, I also need to zoom in a bit more and then again apply this graph to it to have much more smoother animation. And obviously we just need to cut this out from over here because we don't need after of it. And I'm also going to drop another adjustment layer and call it as a radial and give it a radial blur as well. But make sure you're dropping a CC radial blur. Maybe put it on 5 and put it on center zoom, or I'm going to reduce it to 1 or maybe 2. Honestly, this is the technique I get asked about the most. Let's build this smooth box transition from scratch. So before I move on, I just want to turn the top layer, which is a radial blur, off for now to make the project a little bit smoother. So I'm going to connect this controller, which is the main controller, to another controller, and probably I'm going to just change the color to same color and name it as a secondary movement, and then check the movement that we have and do a scale at the middle of that motion. So we're never going to have any stop motion. Maybe I'm going to have a little bit of scale down. Let me just checking it that what we have with an 80-80 motion. And I just want to put more distance between these two keyframes as well. And probably I'm going to make more overlap. So this layer would be the monitor, and I have to open the rotation for it and push this to down here and give it a bit rotation as well. So right now, instead of pushing monitor to the top, I'm going to make the delusion of it. So I'm going to select all the layers except the monitor and put a position for them as a secondary animation. And make sure you're putting the keyframes in the same exact spot and come back to the end keyframe and push everything to the down. Also need the background as well. So I just want to select the background as well. So once you put all the keyframe in the right place, just need to play with the position and push the layers to the bottom all together. But just make sure you're not gonna go out of the frame. You just need to select all the keyframe and give them all the same graph. I'm gonna also add a position to this monitor and put it at the center of our scene. And as you see, it's not moving that much, but we can fix this problem as well. So again, I'm gonna select all the layers and push them all a little bit down. But obviously we can see a black gap on the top. And one of the fastest solution would be CC reptile effect. You can easily add this effect, expand it from the top, and then easily put it on unfold. So I'm gonna select everything and again apply this one. So exactly when you did that, we just need to put a mark in exact same place that we have the animation. You just need to select all the layer and just pre-comp them and name them whatever you want it. Draw a square and put it in the center of our scene. Give it a little bit of roundness, and then we need to turn off this option down here and give the size and roundness both together a keyframe. Then we're gonna get back to the first mark down here and give another keyframe to over here. Down here we're gonna make the roundness 0 and also make this exactly feed it to our composition. And the only things that we have to do is just giving it a same exact graph, but it's kind of slow for this box animation. So I'm gonna put it in 100, so we're gonna have a same graph with a different speed. Also, if you want to make it better, you can find the middle port, or sometimes 1 frame back and forth, 7 frame backward, push this to over here, and 7 frame forward and push these last keyframe to over here. So I'm gonna call this as a map, and then I'm gonna duplicate this layer. So the bottom one would be the blur layer and the top one would be the box layer. I'm gonna push this to the top and map it to this layer. And once I apply some Gaussian blur to the back layer down here, you can see that we can make a separation between these two layers. I'm gonna turn this a little bit higher and also give it a little bit of tint or maybe toner. And I'm gonna play with the blend and make it a little bit better. I'm also gonna grab a duplicate, put this on the top and name it as a stroke. Turn this on and maybe turn off the fill and turn on the stroke and give it a 4 or 5-ish. finding the middle part through the graph editor and just go 10 frame or 20 frame backward, do an opacity keyframe, again 20 frame forward and another keyframe for opacity. You can turn this to 0 and give it the same exact keyframe. So you can see that easily we're gonna have this animation. If you want, you can just expand these two keyframes and apply the graph again to them. Create a stroke like this, make sure you want to make the anchor point centered, and then you can duplicate this layer and put it in the right place as well. Doing vertical and horizontal part of the strokes separately, because if you don't do it like this, I'm pretty sure it's gonna cause some problem for you. Turn the color to something else, and for making it much more beautiful, what I can do is just adding some taper to these strokes. I can search a taper while I'm selecting one of these layers and open up the taper option and give it something like 55 and 55. And then I can just copy this taper. I can search for the taper for each of these layers and easily select taper and paste the taper option to over here. First of all, I just want to push this to the back of this box, and then we have to put the same exact keyframe for them in the same exact mark that we have. You have to put these lines out of the frame exactly like this, and after you've done that, you just need to select all the layers and then give it the same exact graph. But as you see, it's not exactly what we want, because we were trying to make these animation a little bit faster. We would just make the box animation a little bit faster, and I totally forgot that. So if we just put these keyframes over here and give it the same exact graph, we can see that we have the same exact animation down here. See that we have the same exact animation down here, and obviously you can see how beautiful it is. And if you want, you can also give it a little bit of offset to make it much more interesting. And this is exactly how we can create this beautiful animation.